legendary king of pop, Michael Jackson. He passed away on Thursday, June 25th.
Did anybody witness what happened? No, just the doctor, sir.
Michael was doing 3 or 4 times the work as any of us.
We had an episode last night. I think you need to get a blood test on him. We got to see what he's doing.
He's the greatest entertainer in the world.
You can't deal with a guy like Michael, who's this big a star, when he becomes so powerful. These kind of folks will not listen to advice. They're going to do it their way, and it can kill them if you're not careful.
He complained that he couldn't perform. He'd have to cancel rehearsals again, and put his show behind, and not satisfy his fans.
Tonight, my exclusive guest was with Michael Jackson on stage just hours before his death. Watch this rehearsal footage of the King of Pop in his element shortly before he died. Okay, Mo Pleasure, you played keyboard for Michael Jackson. You were there with him hours before he died, his final rehearsal. Describe in your words what Michael Jackson was like the last time you saw him.
You know, Jane, he was animated. We were all really looking forward to a great concert tour at the O2 in London. He was laughing. He was in good spirits. We were coming down to the final production, one of the final production rehearsals. So many things had to go right. So many of the technical things had to go right, the music, the dance, and it was all we all knew that we had something really special. And I really believe that Michael did too. So I would have to say he was very much looking forward to doing the concert tour.
So he didn't seem sick to you, because I'm sure you know that the choreographer, Kenny Ortega, the director of This Is It, the first witness of the trial, describes Michael's final days, and there's some disturbing testimony. Listen to this.
He was chilled, and he appeared lost.
What do you mean by that?
Just sort of lost and a little incoherent. I did feel, though, that he was, not well at all.
Did you think he was well enough to rehearse?
No.
So, Kenny Ortega saying Friday, June 19th, Michael's incoherent, chilled, not good enough to rehearse. The next day, there's an emergency meeting with Kenny Ortega, Michael Jackson's manager, one of the concert promoters, and Dr. Conrad Murray, where Dr. Murray assures him everything's fine. Then Tuesday, the 23rd, Michael's next rehearsal. He's full of energy. Ditto for Wednesday, June 24th. That was his final rehearsal, and he dies Thursday, June 25th. So let me take you back, Morris, to Friday, June 19th. Did you see Michael walk in and seem chilled or in any way just not there? He did not rehearse. He watched the rehearsals. Okay, well, I'll say this. First of all, Kenny Ortega is somebody that is producer of the show, so he's going to be spending a lot of time with Michael that we as musicians wouldn't necessarily spend with him. By the time he got to rehearsal with us, he had already been through, most times, a full dance rehearsal, and we're talking about a 50-year-old man. And then coming to us, we either had like full music rehearsal or, full production rehearsal. And I can't even tell you how many aspects of that have to go right in order for a show like this to come off. And he was definitely, I'm glad we have This Is It now to prove this, but he was definitely, ready for rehearsal. He was hitting his marks. And for everything I got, we were actually ahead of schedule in terms of the show. We would have been definitely ready to do a full show at the O2 in London. There's no question about it. What you see when we're doing This Is It is a production that is probably at about 85, 90% of full power, because we can't burn ourselves out. Michael has to sing, dance, hit his marks, and all that. So, what is now in the movie, you're looking at, you make a decision yourself. I say that we were ready, and I think that Michael was ready too. But did you see him on the 19th not rehearse? Was there any buzz about, oh, we're supposed to do a rehearsal, he's not there? Did you get any sense of that, or was it kept completely under wraps?
Well, you got to, you know, Jane, you got to understand, in a production like this, things change all the time. You know, it could be just something having to do with lighting cues. Okay, lighting needs another 3-4 hours to deal with something, so we're moving rehearsal from 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. You know, that's the kind of the directions we were getting. As far as when Michael actually showed up, he was ready to rehearse.
All right, well, we are so delighted that you're joining us tonight here on Issues exclusively and telling us what you saw. And we're going to have more of your analysis in just a moment. Stay right there. Take a look at this. This is highly produced. Instead of thriller, it says Conrad Murray killer. I should say alleged killer there. You put a lot of work into this. Why?
Well, Jane, although this is a very serious case, I believe I just wanted to add a little bit of, you know, comic relief, and I just believe laughter is the best medicine, not propofol.
So you have so many people outside supporting Michael Jackson. There's also Dr. Conrad Murray supporters, and Dr. Murray himself is claiming that not only was the propofol Michael Jackson's idea, but he claims other doctors would let Michael inject himself. Let's listen to Dr. Conrad Murray, the defendant.
He had said to me that the doctors allowed him to infuse it himself, and I refused him that opportunity. And he asked me, why did you want me to push it? I love to push it. You know, it makes me feel medicine is great.
Mo, you've been in the music world and the world of show business for a long time. Sometimes people compartmentalize their lives. What's so astounding is you hear these stories of Michael Jackson wanting to inject himself with propofol, begging people for propofol, but then we talk to people like yourself and it's like, no, he's on target, he's got his music, he's sharp, he's healthy. How do you reconcile those two?
Well, you know, the only thing I can say is, you know, I'm in a very demanding business, you know, and we have to perform, and we have to, like, you know, be on our mark and, you know, be our very best. Michael Jackson is, to me, one of the greatest performers of our time, and I didn't come away with any different feeling after having worked with him. So maybe he's just that good to be able to, you know, really compartmentalize his life. I can't really say. I know about the part on the stage, and, you know, he was amazing every day.
And he was joking. What was his mood?
Yeah, I completely remember him laughing. You know, I remember, you know, at this point, all of the hard work had really been done. You know, there were a few more gags, as we call them, a couple technical things we had to get through. The music was pretty much done. We decided the set list, the right keys for everything. I mean, it's just massive, the amount of work. And, you know, everybody in the production had this feeling like, okay, we got, you know, X amount of days to go, and we're ready to hit.
What was your reaction when you learned that Michael Jackson had died?
You know, Jane, it's like so many things. First of all, it was complete shock. I said to myself, I'm not going to even believe it until I show up at rehearsal and see what's going on. And as soon as I pulled up, I understood. But, you know, Michael Jackson is the kind of person who, first of all, I've been hearing his music for however 30, 40 years since I was a kid. And then when you actually meet the person, you realize what a really great person he is. And so, you know, it hits you like you've lost somebody that you know well, and that you know, you've lost way too soon, you know.
And your reaction to all the personal details that are being revealed in this case, his autopsy photo, talk of his urine, and all of these very personal things.
You know, truthfully, I don't think they all need to be on television, but, you know, I haven't really been following. I work pretty hard, and I don't really watch a lot of television. But
you're busy making music and good music, and we want to thank you so much for coming on. And
thank you, Jane.
We're showing this trial. This is the decision of the prosecution. The big debate here is whether Dr. Conrad Murray kind of danced through an interview with the cops. He certainly was a spin doctor, painting himself as a compassionate, caring, patient, precise doctor who really was very reluctant about giving Michael Jackson his milk, propofol, but only at Michael Jackson's request. However, we've come up with a list of inconsistencies, and some of them are very technical and medical, but some of them, well, they're just common sense. For example, he tells the cops, oh, I couldn't call 911 right away because there's no phones in the house. Michael Jackson changes his number all the time. Hello, Dr. Conrad Murray, you had 2 cell phones. You were calling your girlfriends. You were making all sorts of phone calls. All right, so right there, if I'm a juror, that tells me, he's not leveling. Tomorrow on Issues, another big exclusive. We will talk to Mark Lester, the longtime friend of Michael Jackson.